So unit number 2 is fire safety legislation and regulations. So we have to now go fast because there are plenty of slides in this course. So point number 1 is key legislation, regulations and standards governing fire safety, responsibilities of employers, employees and other stakeholders, consequences of non-compliance with fire safety regulations, strategies to maintain legal compliance and promote a culture of fire safety. So we are now going to study regulations and key legislation of different countries. Okay, these are the main points, so keep focus on the screen. Point number 1 is which legislation, which legal way is applied in United States. So the term OSHA, Occupational Safety and Health Act, sets and enforce standard to ensure safe and healthful working conditions. The OSHA standards related to fire safety include requirements for fire prevention plans, emergency action plans, and fire protection. Okay, if there is any question in the exam about United States key legislation, so you have to write there OSHA. OSHA is used in the United States. Key legislation, regulations, and standards in European Union or any other countries. Okay, National Fire Protection Association, NFPA. NFPA stands for National Fire Protection Association. Publishes numerous codes and standards to minimize the risk and effects of fire. Key standards include NFPA 1 Fire Code, NFPA 101 Life Safety Code, and NFPA 72 National Fire Alarm and Signaling Code. Americans with Disabilities Act, ADA. ADA means Americans with Disabilities. ADA includes requirements for emergency alarms and accessible means of egress for individuals with disabilities. The key legislation, the regulatory body, ADA, the persons in the company, the employees in any working area who are disabled, who are not going to move easily at the time of fire. So the Americans develop an act for that persons named ADA, Americans with Disabilities Act, ADA Act. If you get question in the exam paper, what is ADA? So you can be aware of it that this is the act by the Americans for disabled persons. United Kingdom Regulatory Reform Fire Safety Order 2005. This order consolidates fire safety legislation in non-domestic premises, placing the responsibility on the responsible person to ensure fire safety. Okay, and Building Resolutions 2010. Part B of these regulations covers fire safety matters within and around buildings, including means of escape, fire detection and alarm systems, and fire resistance. European Union. Which act is used in European Union? In Europe. European Union. European Fire Safety Standards, EN. Standards such as ENF4. ENF4 Fire Detection and Fire Alarm Systems set guidelines for fire safety measures and equipment within the EU. EU means European Union. International standards. International Organization for Standardization, ISO. ISO is the UK international awarding body which set patterns, which set standards for all of the working area. So ISO 45001 outlines requires for an occupational health and safety management system including fire safety. Responsibilities of employers, employees and other stakeholders. What are the responsibilities of employers? First, risk assessment. Conduct regular fire risk assessments to identify hazards and implement appropriate control measures. Another responsibility for employers is to fire safety policy. Develop and communicate a comprehensive fire safety policy outlining procedures and responsibilities. The employers, the company holders, the stakeholders have to develop the fire safety policies and to communicate with all the employees in the company. And the stakeholders also have to train the employees how to use fire extinguishers and evacuation systems. And we are all know that maintenance is also ensure also is main thing in that combustible materials. And emergency planning, so training, maintenance and emergency plannings, these are the main things to be ready before any emergency occurs. Two, responsibilities of employers, employees and stockholders. Employees, what are the responsibilities now for employees? So employees have to be aware of fire hazards in their work environment and follow established safety protocols. Participation, participate in fire safety training and drills. Main points are for you, okay? Students, these are the main points we are discussing now. You have to be aware about the fire hazards. You have to participate in fire safety trainings. You have to report any fire hazards or fire or safety equipment any in the company. Other stakeholders, what are the responsibilities for other stakeholders? Building owners or managers. Ensure that buildings meet fire safety regulations, maintain fire safety equipment, and conduct regular fire drills. Contractors, comply with the fire safety policies and procedures of the premises that are working in. Visitors and public, adhere to fire safety instructions provided by the premises and report any hazards and observed. Legal consequences, fines and penalties. Organizations can face substantial fines and penalties for failing to comply with fire safety regulations. Okay? If you have not pointed out the risky areas, if you have not pointed out the any equipments which are not properly working, so if the fire occurs, so the legal bodies will fine and put penalties on the organizations, which will become bad output for the companies. Prosecution, the prosecution body will come and put penalties on him, which will cause injury or loss of life. Business closure, after all that, if the company does not obey rules about fire safety, does not train their employees about the fire safety, does not proper maintain their equipments, so fine and penalties will come. Prosecution bodies will act penalties on company, and after the result for output, the business will be closed. Regulatory authorities may shut down non-compliant businesses until they meet fire safety standards. Financial consequences, increased insurance premiums. Non-compliance can lead to higher insurance premiums or difficulty obtaining insurance coverage. Litigation costs, legal fees and compensation payments from lawsuits related to fire incidents can be substantial. Point number 3, consequences of non-compliance with fire. Consequences of non-compliance with fire safety regulations. Operational consequences, business interruption. Fires can cause significant disruption to business operations, leading to loss of productivity and revenue. If the organization does not obey the fire safety policies, so what will be the output? It will cause loss of lives, leading to a loss of productivity and revenue, and it will be create bad reputation in the local area. Reputational damage. Their reputation will be damaged if they do not obey, if they do not apply fire safety regulations, fire safety measures, and fire extinguisher systems. Strategies to maintain legal compliance and promote a culture of fire safety. Regular audits and inspections. Internal audits. The company should do internal audits or should attend or should manage third party inspections on monthly basis, which will be best for that company to check all the devices, check the safety area, check the fire safety alarm systems. It will be best for any company if they do internal audits or third party inspections. Comprehensive training programs, ongoing training, offer regular training sessions on fire safety protocols, emergency procedures, and the proper use of fire safety equipment. Tailored training, customized training programs. If there is any another scenario in your company, if there is any another scenario in your company about fire hazards, so you can tailor your training. Tailored training means you can customize your training. You can do training on your own behalf with the organization. Strategies to maintain legal compliance and promote a culture of fire safety. Effective communication, clear policies, emergency procedures. Ensure fire safety policies are clearly communicated to all employees and stakeholders. Point number 2, emergency procedures. Display evacuation routes. Display evacuation routes, fire extinguisher locations, and emergency contact information prominently throughout the premises. Okay, these are the main things. You have to be aware of that things. You have to be aware evacuation routes. You have to be aware exit routes. You have to be aware about exit doors, fire extinguishers, where the fire extinguishers are located. Investment in fire safety infrastructure, fire detection systems, install and maintain small smoke detectors, heat sensors, and fire alarms to ensure early detection of fires. Got it? Install and maintain smoke detectors, heat sensors, and fire alarms. These are the main things which can detect fire early. Suppression systems. Invest in fire suppression systems such as sprinklers, fire extinguishers, and fire hoses. These are the main things in working area, in a company, in industries. If there is not available, so you have to convey message to the upper awarding body. Fire resisting materials. Use fire resistant building materials and furnishings to reduce the spread of fire. Creating a safety culture, leadership commitment, employee involvement, recognition and rewards. Create a safety culture. The leadership should be commitment leadership, and the leadership should involve employee and should give rewards if they do good work.